Hey, what's up? It's Comic95, the Savior, and for this video, I want to just be so real with you guys and talk about a big problem that I see so many people fall into, including myself. I have been victim of this several times from being here, especially during my first year, and that is not acting like what you are, which is broke. A lot of you guys come here and you have loan money, you have daddy's credit card, or you have a partner that has money, etc., and you just spend like crazy. You buy stuff you don't need, you live in places that you can't afford, you go out to have fun, you like to travel the country, do all types of stuff that you don't have the money to be wasting. And while I understand that for some of you, you're like, oh, my time in Japan is limited, I want to go to Hokkaido, I want to see, the Hiroshima, Peace Museum, etc., this, that, and the other, and it's like, does your wallet say that you can afford to go there? Can you afford to have these dreams? And if the answer is no, it doesn't mean you can't do it right now, but you should not be going right now. You can go later. The Peace Museum is still going to be the Peace Museum tomorrow, I promise. It will be there a year from now, 10 years from now. It's not going nowhere. You can still go to Hokkaido during your spring break after you've worked for it and you saved up money for that Shinkansen ticket. So many of you are busy trying to go on trips with your friends and fit in with everyone that you're spending money that you don't have for trips that you don't need to go on for no reason. If you are working a retail job at 7-Eleven or McDonald's, you should not be living by yourself. There's no reason for you to be living by yourself unless you live in the countryside. If you're living like in a downtown area, like in Tokyo or Osaka, etc., and you are living alone, your rent should not be exceeding $300 or $400 a month. Because if it is, you're living outside of your means. And I think for a lot of you, you're like, oh, I can afford it. I make more than this. But look at how much more you could be saving. How much time do you really spend at home? Probably none. You probably spend most of your time at work, at school, hanging out with your friends, dating, doing fun stuff. Wouldn't you rather have money to spend on leisure, on fun, on vacation, than on a place to sleep at night? Like, I just don't understand that thinking. Like, it's so stupid. And again, well, I guess I should say I should understand it, but I don't get it why people that are older than me continue to do this. Then, after you've blown all of your money, you're desperately begging for a job, begging for recommendations, begging for money, and it's like you got yourself in this situation. Every time you get, ichiman in your hand, you do not need to go out to yakiniku and karaoke with your friends. I know you want to take cool pictures for Instagram, but do you really need bubble tea? Like, think to yourself. These little expenses add up. Yes, I understand you think Japanese food tastes like shit, but do you have money to be eating Domino's pizza every day? Do you have money for Uber Eats? Do you have money for McDonald's? Ask yourself these questions. We all make mistakes. I'm guilty. I told you guys about my struggles here of having, electricity turned off, not having water, living out of the mall bathroom. I have been there, and I'm warning you and speaking from experience that I hate when I see you guys doing the same thing. A lot of you, just like me, you've blown your financial aid on dumb stuff, trying to impress other people, trying to look good, trying to look classy and like you have money and expensive, but now you don't have enough money to pay your tuition. Now you don't have enough money for transportation. Was it worth it? Was that barbecue worth it? Was it worth it to buy that dress to impress that guy? Like, think about what you're doing with yourself in your life. Remember, don't lose sight of why you're here and how you got here. You don't want to ruin that and end up on a flight back home. You don't want to end up in the adult video section because you need it to make money to pay ends meet, which also might add is illegal if you're here on a student visa. So just think about what you're doing. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're desperately in need and at the mercy of not only other people, but of this country, where you're choosing between being deported, being imprisoned for breaking the law, because you were hungry, because you didn't have money or food, so you did illegal work, you got into an illegal sham marriage to keep your stay in Japan afloat. There are so many students here that come here not having enough money for their education. Maybe they have enough for 6 months or for 3 months. They blow it all, thinking, oh, I can just get a job later, I can worry about that later. They have fun, they go out to parties, etc. I totally recommend going to parties, having fun, and enjoying being young, but you need to know when to stop and when you can afford to do so. Your real friends will understand. Tell your friends beforehand, hey, I love you guys, I want to hang out with you, but I'm a college student, I really don't have any money to waste. If you want to see me, we have to go hang out at the park, we have to go to this free place. I can go to karaoke at this student discount place, but only like once a month, once a week, whatever. This can't be an everyday thing. Your real friends will find free and fun stuff for you, and they'll even pay for you because maybe other people can't afford it. But don't think that you have to waste money to try to fit in or hang out with people. Saying no to events will not keep you from getting friends. It will show you who your real friends are. And you can take your time to search on the internet and find free things that you can do or very cheap things that you can do. But do keep in mind that even cheap things become expensive. Try not to go to other train stations that are far away from you. Sure, you might say, oh, it's only a 30-minute train ride. But if it's costing you about $5 to $6 one way, that's $12 that you didn't have. That could have gone towards groceries. Same thing goes for food. Yes, I get it. You don't like Japanese food. You like pizza. You like, whatever. But do you have money for pizza every night? Get used to eating rice. Get used to eating curry. Get used to eating ramen. And I'm not talking about cocoichi. You have to learn how to live within your means. Because if you don't, it will come back and bite you hard and bad. And if you're living in Japan, you're probably an adult, which means you're going to get treated like an adult, which means that they will be a little bit harsh on you. They're not going to baby you. You're responsible for managing, maintaining, and watching your own spending and your own money. Nobody else. It's not your mom's job. It's not your friend's job. It's not your school's job. It's not your boyfriend or girlfriend's. Only you. Your friends that you went out to eat with, that you tried to impress, are they going to help you? Are they going to pay your bills when you fall behind? Probably not. You need to prioritize your utilities and your rent. I know that a lot of you guys feel like me and you're like, I cannot have roommates. I hate living with other people. I need my own space. They're too loud. They're too noisy. They leave lights on, etc. But would you rather muscle through, put in some earplugs, play some music, do whatever you have to do to tune them out to save money? Or do you want to be in over your head, paying too much money for rent for a place that you're barely in and struggling to make ends meet because you can't afford your expensive utilities there, you can't afford your expensive rent there, and now you're taking money out that you could have had in savings to pay for these guarantor fees and move-in fees and key money, etc. So think to yourself, can you afford this? And this isn't just for students, but some of you are working here and you're not making a lot of money. You're making, $2,500 or less a month. You're not dealing with a lot. So same thing goes for you. Live within your means. It's okay to live in a cheaper apartment, work your way up. My place right now is nice, but I didn't always have this place. I've had really crummy garbage apartments before this place. And you want to know what? Even then, I could say for some of those places, they were still above my means. I didn't have the money to be living in those places. For others, I did have the money. But should I have used it? Could it have been better spent doing other things? And the answer to that is simply yes. Food is food. If it's keeping you from starving to death, that's good enough. Learn how to prioritize your money. Buy yourself cheap groceries. Get yourself things that are near expiration. Stick it in your freezer. Buy things like milk. Make cereal. Make pancakes. Make things that stretch. Things that will last a while. You don't have the money to be spending $5, $10, $15 on single meals when you're not getting a normal size salary. Or when you have a normal salary, but your rent is super expensive. You have to learn when, where, and how to make cuts. You have to be an adult. Because if you don't know how to be an adult, your free spending, your free spirit with money is going to cost you your stay in Japan. So just be careful who you call your friends. Be careful who you hang out with. Be careful with how you spend your money. My rule of thumb is, as soon as you get your money, if your place that you're staying at doesn't automatically do this, pay your rent as soon as you get the money for your rent. Pay it off. And if it's possible, pay your rent months in advance if you can. Do it so you don't have to worry about it. You always need a place to stay. Second to that, Pay your utility bills as soon as you get them. Don't wait until the day that they expire. Don't wait until the week they expire. Pay them as soon as they come so you don't have to worry about it. You never want your rent to be behind. You never want to have to worry about your lights or water being turned off on you. Trust me, I know from personal experience, it's a hassle to get the stuff back on, and nobody wants to go through that mess. Ain't nobody got time for that. So always handle those two things first. After you've handled your rent and after you've handled your utilities, because as long as your water is on, technically you have a source of survival right there. So after those two things are done, your groceries are what's next, important thing. I highly recommend that if possible, you use something like Amazon Pantry and you get basic things like pasta, ramen, water, tea. Stock up on those items. They only cost like $1 to $5. You can have a bunch of that stuff inside of your place. It lasts a long time, and it is so much cheaper than you going out and buying an individual, pet bottle of green tea or Coke each and every time. You'll save a lot of money doing this. And also, it'll help you. You can say, should I really go out? But if I go out and eat dinner, then my milk is going to expire because I'm going to have all this milk left over. I haven't been making cereal in a while. I could have a breakfast dinner. Do I have to go out and have curry? Do I have to go out to eat ramen with my friends tonight? That's $5, $10, $15 that you don't have, not including the train fare. Think about it. I can tell you from personal experience, one of the worst feelings is to be both broke and depressed. I can promise you and assure you that being depressed and having money feels a lot better than being sad and having no money, because that just adds to it when you are already sad and now you have to also stress out about your finances and your personal circumstances. If you have your money together, you have good things to look forward to. You know you're going to have food. You know you're going to have a place to stay. You know that you have money that you're putting aside to further your education, to further your lifestyle once you graduate or once you do get that promotion or that better job. And or, for you to vacation, travel, enjoy entertainment with your friends, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. Think about your future. Nothing's worse than having no money, being sad, being in a situation where none of your friends can help you because they have their own struggles and their own situation. So while you're busy blowing money and trying to show off and have a good time, you think your friends are doing the same thing, but you best believe when you come to them and you ask them if they can pay your rent, they're going to say, look, I love you to death, but I'm sorry, I can't pay your rent. And it's not that they really can't do it. They probably do have enough money to cover your rent, but they know their limit. They know not to agree to something that they can't afford, and you need to be like them too. Your friends know when to stop. If they can't afford to go out with you, they'll tell you no. They might pressure you to go, and they might not even mean any harm in it, but they don't understand. They think you do have it because you ultimately caved in. But you best believe they're not going to do that. You try to force them to go out to karaoke with you and spend the night. You try to force them to go to Spocha. They'll say no. They'll say, I don't have money. Sorry, can't do it today. Got to pay my rent. Got to pay my bills. Have my tuition to pay. You're not Bill Gates. Don't act like it. If you're broke, then act like it. Because if you don't act like it, you're going to be broke for real. And you don't want that. You don't want to be in a situation where you owe people in a foreign country. Because the other messed up thing is, a lot of you guys, you're in situations where not only can you not pay your rent, not only can you not pay your tuition, you can't even pay for a flight back home. So you are trapped here. Do you really want to be homeless out in the street, selling your body to try to make ends meet? Doing illegal work? Do you want to do that? Do you want to resort to having to be underpaid because you are desperately in need of students? Think about what you're doing to yourself. Think about your future. And don't let your mind, those evil thoughts, anxiety, whatever, trick you into thinking, if I don't say yes all the time, if I don't hang out with these people, if I don't eat this food, if I don't wear these clothes, they won't like me. They won't hang out with me. They won't invite me out again. Explain your situation, and people will surely understand. They will accommodate you, and you'll be amazed. A lot of people that are here, in all honesty, they can afford to do these things. They can afford to pay for you to go to karaoke. They can afford to pay for your food at the yakiniku restaurant. Don't have too much pride and be ashamed or afraid to ask. You can have good things, enjoy life, and go fun places here. You don't have to spend all your time staying inside and being bored and just work and just school. I know you need entertainment, but you have to put your needs first. please handle your bills first. Please do not be silly and stupid and make the mistakes that I've made and so many other people that have been here and left because they couldn't afford it anymore. You don't want to be them. Because one of the most crushing things is to come here as a student after you've worked your butt off to get here. And then, when it's time to pay your tuition for the next year, or the next semester for a lot of you, you no longer have the money because you blew it all. It went away a lot faster than you thought it did. And I think a lot of people forget, for some of us, it's actually hard to register that you're spending real money once you convert your money to yen, because it seems like monopoly money. You don't take it seriously, especially since Japan is so cash-based. Or it can be the opposite. Maybe you're someone that actually finds it easier to spend on a card. So for me, I found both to make it easy for me to spend. I'm not seeing it when it's on my card, and when I'm using yen, I wasn't able to really calculate how much money I was spending until I had already been in Japan for roughly 2 years. Then I started to register each month as $100. So that's that. Be careful, take care of yourself. You don't have to try to impress other people by pretending that you're someone you're not, which is rich. You're broke, it's okay, you can say it, you can act like it. Japanese people know that college students are broke. Your friends know that most college students are broke. They're probably broke too and trying to do the same thing as you. So that's that. If you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please leave a comment down below. If you've been here in Japan or currently live here and you've been through my struggle or what I'm talking about in this video, please feel free to give other viewers your advice, your tips, your opinion on how you manage to save your money and live, beneath, below, whatever your means and not overspending. Other than that, I would appreciate it, as always, if you would follow me on my social media accounts. I have an Instagram and Twitter account that you can follow. You can add me on Snapchat and like my Facebook page as well. Thank you for watching. Bye.